Hi people, this is Bradford Lassiter of Lassiter Enterprises, and I apologize for the shitty quality of this webcam video, but I'm doing this video. This video is a little more laid back, I'm just, I'm in a normal background setting, but, like, just sitting here drinking. But anyways, I'm making this video. This segment is what I like to call TV I Watched. And it's pretty much where I run down through all the shows I watched throughout the year. And by year, I mean, like, a normal school year from September to June. So I'm pretty much gonna do little quick reviews of of all my favorite shows that I watched over the years. So here we go. First off, we got Shameless. Now I remember it was like 4 years ago. I was in my first year in college, and it was late night. This show popped on, and all I saw was Emmy Rossum in that sex scene with Justin Chatwin. That was like, so Bulma and Goku are having sex with each other from that god awful Dragon Ball movie. But anyway, so I watched that. I'm like, wait, Emmy Rossum, she's showing. And since then, I was intrigued, and not just because of the scene, obviously, but then I watched the rest of the show, and I have not stopped watching the show ever since. Like, the show is about this family that has their father. He is drunk. He's an alcoholic, and so Fiona, played by Emmy Rossum, she's the oldest daughter, oldest child, and so she has to hold together all her siblings together and make sure they're taken care of and all that. But this whole family is dead crazy, and I just love seeing these crazies. I just love seeing this family go through situations, and I love growing up with them. I love the first season. I like the second season. I thought the writing of the show, I thought it was clever what they did with the writing on that show. And the third season, I thought they did more with the characters and challenged them in ways we've never seen them. And then season 4, I felt that was Fiona's year. Well, that was Fiona's season, because we got to see her, because like she's been taking care of her siblings for so long that we get to see her crack down a little bit and kind of go down the rabbit hole a little bit. And so when we get to season 4, it's like it's all about how does she deal with all that. And the way she handles it, I thought it was pretty good, but she kind of slips back into her bad ways a little bit. But we also get to see more of the characters and how they've developed since season 1. Like Carl, he's worse than before. Debbie, she's becoming a teenager, so and we get to see her teenage rebellious years. And spoiler alert, she is pregnant by the end of the season. Ian Gallagher, he is like his mother. He's bipolar, and we get to see how the bipolar disorder is taking a toll on him and how does he deal with it. And Lip, he's in college now. After he was struggling with his first year in season 4, we get to see him get the hang of things in season 5. And speaking of which, Sasha Alexander in this season of Shameless, and especially coming from Rizzoli and Isles, like, just go watch the season. That's all I got to say. But I will say this season 5 of Shameless, it is kind of, I'm not going to say it's declining, but it's starting to lose its steam. The best way I can say is just for the writers and the makers of that show, just bring it up a little bit. Just bring that magic back that we've seen in the first 4 seasons, but we'll be alright though. Like I said, I just like spending time with these characters. Or should I say the Gallagher family. You got Gotham. Now, Gotham, we all know that's Batman. But this show, Gotham, it's essentially a prequel, and it pretty much deals with Bruce Wayne when he was a kid and after his parents got killed. But it mainly follows Detective Gordon before he became commissioner of Gotham. And we get to see him and his partner Harvey Bullock. They take on crimes all across Gotham, and we get to see the Easter eggs of all the classic Batman villains we all know and love, and how they've become who they are. Like, we see Riddler, we see Penguin, we see Poison Ivy, Catwoman. We get to see how they become the villains that we know and love. And then we also get to see the crime world within Gotham rise. And also we get to see how Bruce Wayne pretty much becomes Batman. That's what they're making it seem like. I think the best way I can describe the show is like, this show is just, it's a mixed bag. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Like one episode will be a little cartoony-ish, and then the next episode will be all serious or whatever. This show is just unbalanced and it lacks focus. Like, no, I did stay with it. I stayed with the show because I love Batman. Who doesn't love Batman? The first half of the show, good. The middle half of the show, then the third half of the show, it was okay. I did like the season finale though, but I did like the performance of the guy that plays Penguin. I thought that was a good origin story for him. I do like the person that plays Gordon, and Jada Pinkett Smith in this show. Let's just say I'm kind of glad they killed her off in the show. If she's dead, I don't know. She just fell in the water. Just because you fell in the ocean doesn't mean you're dead, though. But I don't know. Let's just wait and see. But Bruce Wayne, back to him real quick. Little Bruce Wayne, because it's like throughout the entire season, it was like he was just him prepping to be Batman. Like he put his hand over a kennel, like I'm testing my fear. And then at the end of the season, I assumed what was the Batcave, and I'm like, what stage of grieving is he in? Because like all the stages that we see him in the season, Bruce Wayne, he's not supposed to hit this stage until his like 20s. So all I got to say is the writers of Gotham and whoever runs Gotham or whatever, please just find the mojo this show has and find the niche for the show. And well, I don't know. Let's just hope that season 2 will be more watchable, like another show I'm about to mention a little later in this video. Bates Motel is a show based on the old classic Psycho. You know, it's about Norman Bates and his mother, Norma Bates, and they find the motel and they make it their own, and so they make their way in a small town, but then shit just keeps happening to them, and Norman just keeps snapping. Norman Bates, excuse me. Sorry about that. He is essentially a ticking time bomb. And his mother has to keep barging in for him because Norman Bates, he has that multiple personalities type thing going, and the multiple personality is his mother. Now, the first 2 seasons of Bates Motel, I actually liked a lot, but this third season, I'll be honest, I'm a little underwhelmed because it's like they didn't really do nothing. It's like it's just Norman and Norma just going through the same stuff they did in the first 2 seasons. Norma's estranged brother comes back and tries to make amends with each other. His brother, dang, I forgot his name, but his brother pretty much is in the what now with dang, I forgot her name, but it's the girl from that awful movie Ouija, and the redheaded girl with the tubes and the everything. Yeah. So, anyways, he's in with her, but then the girl from Transformers 4, she comes back to the show, which I actually liked her in the first 2 seasons, but in this show, she just only comes back for 2 episodes. And now, granted, I do like what they did with her, but at the same time, it's like, eh. But I guess best thing I can say is this show is just really starting to lose steam, and I hope they step it up for 4th season. Like, ultimately, I guess I can say Bates Motel, it is the Breaking Bad season 3. Because it's like the first 2 seasons were good. Then season 3 was just like... But then season 4 took it to a whole nother level. ABC Family's The Fosters. I absolutely love the show, and I advise anyone to watch the show. Like, this show is so good. This show is about a lesbian couple played by Terry Pilote from the Meet the Parents trilogy and Sherry Shum. They play a lesbian couple, and they have a bunch of kids together, and some of them adopted, some of them are not. But it's just, and this, I think this was pretty much the best representation of a same-sex marriage. Because it shows that gay couples, they're like, no, gay couples are like any other regular couple. They have problems too, and that's one of the best things I love about the show. And even their kids on the show, like you got Callie, she is this, she's kind of this outcast, but then the family takes her in, and she also has a little brother. Her little brother is gay on the show, and I think her brother being gay on the show, this is the best thing I've seen on the show, and it's the best representation of the kid finding out who he is and whether or not he's gay or not. And I thought they handled it very, very well. And the show is also about abandonment, because there's also foster kids within the show, and whether or not they're trying to find their families or not, and who's the best family for them, and they're trying to find their place in the world. And I think they just illustrate that very well. And they also convey that through the twins that the lesbian couple have to deal with, because they both came from a mother who was a former drug addict, but now she's getting herself clean, and now she's about to have another child, and the twins, they don't want their newborn child to go through what they went through, and they had to take issue with that. But the drug addict mother, she makes amends with them, and everything is all fine and dandy. But the season finale of this show, of season 2, I mean, because the season of the show started back during the summer, and then they went on hiatus for a couple of months, and then the second half of the show premiered back in the winter. And so the season finale of the show just blew my mind, and they left a whole bunch of stuff out in the open and a bunch of cliffhangers. But again, I advise you to watch The Fosters. If you're gay, you might like the show. If you're a lesbian, you might like the show. Like, if you're like anyone, like there are a bunch of ways within the show that anyone can relate to it. Just please watch it. Continuing on with my Marvel fanboyisms, you got Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, what more about the show hasn't been said. The first season was kind of a mixed bag. Like, I even gotta admit, the show was kind of a mixed bag. I watched the very first episode of the show in season 1 when the show premiered, and after that, I never went back to the show again, because it's like, there was just something about the show that was missing, and the show, they just, all it was just, what was the mission of the week type stuff. But then last year I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and after the whole Hydra situation, I was like, so what does this mean for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And after that, I had to go back and watch all the previous episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. leading up to the episode that ties in with Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And so after that, it was like I felt the show got a whole lot better after the Hydra situation with that show. And since then, I'd stick with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like, you know what? I love Marvel. And after the whole Hydra situation, I want to see how they do with that. So I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I felt was a whole lot better than season 2, because it also deals with the Inhumans movie that's about to come up, and Agent Coulson trying to bring S.H.I.E.L.D. back together. But if you don't like the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., hey, I understand. But if you do like the show, awesome. And I think, like, honestly, really, I'm just conflicted with this show, because Joss Whedon, he said, as far as the movie goes, Agent Coulson is dead. But as far as the show goes, are they ever going to bring Coulson back into the movie? So, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. But as for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'd say this is a pretty decent show, and as long as they keep riding the mojo that the show has, I think the show has a chance to succeed. And I can't wait to see what will happen in next season, and how it will tie into the movies. Marvel's Agent Carter. Now, I've told y'all before, I love Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. But honestly, the show Agent Carter, I gotta be completely honest, this show was boring. I'm sorry, sue me. Like, I know a lot of people like Agent Carter, and if you do, hey, that's cool. I'm glad you like the show, but for me personally, I don't know, there's just something about the show that was just missing for me, and that just didn't really click with me. Like, this show, like it was just mainly just about Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark. He's hiding from the government because he did something he wasn't supposed to, and they're trying to preserve the last of Steve Rogers, Captain America's blood. But I don't know. Maybe if they put the show on Netflix, maybe I'll watch it again, and maybe I'll find something in it that I didn't catch in it. So I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, this show just didn't really do it for me. So, hey, like I said, if you like it, that's cool. But me personally, yeah. I have a big secret. I like the show Pretty Little Liars. That is my guilty pleasure show. And it's ludicrous, I know, but hey, look, I'm gonna just say it like this. Like, I remember I was in a theater, and they played a preview of this show, and from what I saw, I was like, this looks like what's that one movie? I Know What You Did Last Summer. But then I don't know what happened. I catch the episode of it, and then all I saw was students falling in love with teachers, and then lesbian couples in high school or whatever. And I'm like, what kind of sick shit is this? And then I watched it, and I was like, I'm sorry, this show is actually pretty good. I am not ashamed to say that Pretty Little Liars is my guilty pleasure show. But the show is about these 4 girls. They get random texts from this anonymous person named A, and shit, I'm sorry. It's just like I said, this is pretty casual. I'm just going off the top of my head. But anyways, one of the leader of their group dies, and then they think it's her, but it's really not. It's like best. I'm not trying to spoil the whole show for you, but it's just a series of events that happen, and they find out who it is. It's one of the girls' closest friends, and it turns out to be another person. And it's like this is one of those shows that I have to do a full review on. But this show is just one of those shows that the events leading up to who they find out who A is and all the secrets they find out is really bizarre and unbelievable. But the characters, I just love spending time with the characters, and I just want to see the characters see this through, and ultimately the writers of the show, they said that there's about 2 more seasons left. They're doing 2 more seasons, and so I just want to stay with the characters and write it out and see how all their secrets unveil between all the characters and stuff. And like I said, I just have to do a full review on this video so I can clearly convey what I like about this show.